2 more runs are going to score. And the White Sox have busted it open here in the 9th. Put out to center field. And it's Robert who makes the catch. And that's the ball game. So the Giants failed to do what they wanted to do after winning the first 2 games. And that's get out of here with a sweep.
I'm a Giants fan.
Now, back to Willard and Dibs on 95.7 The Game.
Right there, you can hear it on NBC Sports Bay Area. And that's what I'm getting at. You've won 4 of 6, and you're mad. And Dwayne Kuiper is calling plays in the 9th. And it's like, dude, you're on a 3-game win streak. It's 2-2 in the 9th. It falls apart, and Dwayne sounds livid. And I get it. That's Giants baseball in 2024.
The team you lost to has won 24% of its games. If their winning percentage was a batting average, they'd be in AAA. It's 242, my friends. That's bad. And just watching you as those highlights were playing, your brow got more and more furrowed and narrow with each crack of the bat.
I'm just not into it. I'm just not into it. Like, and I should be into it. But this team, it's just, it wears everybody out.
Final pitch with FP, you're effing P'd with FP.
Yeah, but not with him, but he's with us.
Well, yeah.
Right here on the River Islands guest line. And I want to let everybody know that Logan Webb's pitch count of 93 pitches, and why didn't he come back out for the 9th? I want to at least let you know what Bo Mel's answer was, is that Logan has been really sick. So they gave him a pitch count going into the game. He had maxed it out. So they took him out, and Tyler Rogers and Ryan Walker, because of recent usage, were not available. So that's why you went to Eric Miller and Spencer Bivens in the 9th. Blew up in your face. FP, is that a fair response? Or when someone's had the flu for a couple of days, do you say, you know what, dude, we need this game?
Well, first of all, I mean, based on your first comments about Kite, it's pretty cool to have broadcasters that care. I've been around people that just kind of check in. They do the game. They're in the elevator laughing 10 minutes after it when their team just had a tough loss. And it's pretty cool to have, like, 2 guys that played for the Giants that were best friends and teammates with the Giants. If you listen closely, really care. So check that box. And you guys know that Dave and John care too. So I'm not leaving anybody out. They really do too. And that's special. That's not always the case with broadcasters in certain markets. So I love the fact that today was rough for them. And I think it was rough for all of us, not just because you didn't sweep the White Sox. It's just like, it was right there. And you had your guy on the mound and you had your ace cruising. You had a 5-pitch 8th inning. And I had no idea about he was sick, but I was kind of thinking with you guys, like, I got to send Logan out there for the 9th, don't I? Like you have to treat these games like playoff games from here on out. There's no wiggle room anymore. I know it's a different day and a different age, and I always say this, and you guys hear me say it all the time, probably ad nauseum at the risk of sounding old. Like, these are playoff games they're playing right now. I mean, the Mets already had a walk-off win against the Orioles with Jesse Winker hitting a home run, and he walked him off. So I don't know. Like, these games are urgent. So what kind of baseball do you play when games are urgent? You play urgent baseball. And I think, there was no better example of urgent baseball than when Bruce Bochy was the manager of the Giants. Like, he managed every game down the stretch or in the playoffs like it was Game 7 of the World Series. And we joke up in the booth all the time, like, oh, my God, another pitching change by David Bell. What's it, Game 7? He's managing Game 7 of the World Series. What are we doing? Right now, it is Game 7 of the World Series. Every game they play, if you want to get to the playoffs, if for some reason you believe in this team, which for some ridiculous reason I still do, these are playoff games to me. So, second guessing is because you couldn't get it right the first time, in my opinion. Tommy Lasorda used to say that all the time, but I would have loved to see Webby out there for the 9th, but I didn't know he had the flu, and nobody knows their personnel better than the manager that's in the clubhouse, in the training room, talking to Gresh, talking to everybody, getting updates on everybody. Hey, Walker's arm's hanging today. I think he was throwing 98 yesterday. I didn't know that. So I'm like, Ryan Walker, let's go. Giddy up. This is nut cutting time, as we said last time when I came on.
Yeah.
And Webby, get out there for the 9th. Let's go. It's nut cutting time. So I'll never question Logan Webb's toughness because he's as old school as they get. But I don't think he had a lot of high stress going on today. He looked amazing. He was on cruise control all day long.
Yeah, and it would have been nice for him to go out there, but I'm with you, FP. I mean, they know better than we do how someone's feeling, and the trainer and then the manager and all the rest of it. And you said something earlier that you still believe, and they're 4 back, and the math is there, and it drives Steinmetz and other people crazy when I cite that. But forget the math. What about this team right now gives you the most hope that they can still make it into the playoffs?
I don't know.
All right, FP. Thanks for joining us.
I'm glad you guys had me on today. I'm not the best analyst in the league for nothing. I don't know. I guess it's based on years of experience and seeing weird things happen late. And if you reel off 10 straight to end the season, all of a sudden you start passing people like the U.S. women's relay team, and you just start running away with it. I don't know how that's going to happen at this point. I will say this: in all my years of experience, it's usually happening by now, right? If we think back to 10, if we think back to 12, if we think back to 14, I was around a bunch of division winners in 12 and 14 and 16 and whatever the years they were back in D.C. I was around a world champion, just like I was around world champions here. You guys know as well as I do. Everybody in their car listening right now, or on YouTube or Twitch or whatever the hell we're on listening right now, they know the feeling. You usually have it by the end of August. Like even Jesse Winker today, the Mets haven't been hitting. They're playing like crap, and they're throwing the ball all over the place. The Orioles beat them, and they had a walk-off today, and Winker throws his helmet down at first. He takes his elbow guard off halfway to first. He spikes his helmet. He's got the big, long, flowing hair. He's losing his mind. He blacks out going around the bases. Like, I know the ex-player is supposed to have something more concrete to tell you, but like based on a lot of years of being around this game, it's usually happening by now. Now, that said, it doesn't mean it can't happen. And a week from now, we're like, see, that's what I've been looking for. But it's getting late. And right when they're teasing you and they're like, oh, half a game back of the wild card, the last spot, and now it's 3.5. Now well, I don't know what the Braves do tonight. Maybe it goes back to 4.5. So we'll see. It's just frustrating, and whatever the fans are feeling, whatever you guys are feeling, I'm feeling the same thing.
Yeah, it's not just 4 back in the Braves. It's 6 back in the loss column, FP. And I'm the last guy on planet Earth to just like blow things off because, yeah, all things are possible. That's why we watch sports. But the belief that you have, I don't share it anymore. I really don't. Like this team's going to have to go 20-13 to win 85 games this year. And by the way, I don't even know that that's going to be enough. Even that would require the Braves going 18-19 the rest of the way. Does that sound plausible to you?
Well, what does sound plausible, Mark, is getting hot late. And if you do that, you guys know better than anybody that the Giants were the worst team in the tournament in 12. They were the worst team in the tournament in 14, and they won 2 World Series. But we were seeing things and walk-offs and, Giants baseball torture. And we had sayings and clever things, and the team had things, and it was fear the beard. And, you had a thing. And I just – the one reason I'm holding out hope, like I said, reiterating, I've seen weird things happen from mid-September on. So for some reason, some magical – I don't know. I'm probably like being a little too positive here, but if for some reason they just catch fire with 2 weeks to go – and you get in, so that's why I'm holding out hope. Yeah. I mean, I don't do the math. I go one day at a time, and just look at the standings when I wake up in the morning. Look at the standings when I go to bed at night, and that's about all I'm doing right now.
What if I asked you this? Because you just said something that kind of sparked something in my mind. You mentioned fear the beard, and you also earlier mentioned Jesse Winker throwing his helmet and throwing his arm guard and like that energy. Why does it feel for the last, I don't know how many years, that the Giants are always without personality and fire? Why does it feel that? I don't even know if it is that. It feels that way.
But you look at it, and it kind of does, if I'm being honest. But and I guess it's just, I mean, they had Chapman on with his referee thing and his whistle the other night at NBC Sports Bay Area, which I thought was great because it was kind of giving us an insight to the clubhouse that I didn't even know about. That they had, they do free throws after the game, and he's the referee and the whistle. And okay, well that means we're having some fun behind the scenes, and maybe it's not made public. But what we as fans crave for is we love to see our guys having fun. We love to see our guys, no matter what team we root for, out there having a blast. Whether it's the Red Sox and their shopping cart in the dugout after a home run, whether it's the pearl necklaces in Atlanta when the whole crowd was wearing them because of Jock Peterson. Like every team that has a magical run or a magical year has a thing. And, whether I'm trying to think, the Nationals had to do a dugout dance. They had the baby shark thing going. They won in 2019. So you think back to Fear the Beard and Tim Lincecum and the Giants and Marco Scudero in the rain and Hunter Pence's yes, yes, yes in his speech in the dugout. I mean, so special teams come together this time of year, and there's a certain camaraderie. And I'm going on a tangent, so this is stream of conscious right now. But like, you have to be even keel for a 6-month season as a player. You can't go high highs, low lows. I'm the best player in the world. I'm the worst player in the world. We're the best team in the world. We're the worst team in the world. I'm the best pitcher in the world. You can't do that. So you have to have even keel. You have to be even keel. We used to call it, and don't get on the roller coaster. But like right now, with however many games are left, man, let it rip. Like be rah-rah in the dugout. Pull out the college try thing. Scream and yell at the other team. Brag on, like whatever it takes right now. Because you don't have to be even keel. You have to just let it rip for 2.5 to 3 hours every night. Let it rip. And if your arm's hanging, tape an aspirin to it. And if your knee's barking, tape an aspirin to it. Like whatever it takes. If you want to get in the playoffs more than the other teams want to get in the playoffs, at this time of year, you throw all that even keel crap out the window and you become a college baseball team and you do whatever it takes to win.
Yeah, 33 games left, FP is the number. And it feels like they're running out of time fast. And I'm a big fan of, the math is there, but you look at, the team overall, and Bailey was really struggling and now he's hurt and you got questions at catcher, and you look across the lineup and it feels like it's thinner than it's been before. So I'll ask you one more time for you to dig deep and use your analyst brain. What is it other than, strapping an aspirin to it that makes you feel good about this team maybe being able to go 20-13 down the run?
You know why, Dibs? I'm an athlete. We don't give up. I'm wired to go as hard as I can for as long as I can. It's just not in my DNA. I'll never be that way. Oh, the season's over. Until they put an X or a Y by the teams that are going to the playoffs name, and then they have that big Instagram post with a picture of somebody on your team on it that says eliminated and real big. Like I'm not wired like that. I can't. I just don't have it in my DNA. And I'm always thinking the Niners can come back when they're down by 12. I don't know. It's just how I'm wired. And I'm glad I'm wired that way. I would hate to be wired any other way. And I wouldn't have achieved the things I've achieved in life if I had just been like, well, this is tough. Forget about it. I'm good. This is over. I just don't. So when it comes to numbers and stuff like that, Dibs, yeah, those are daunting, right? You look at them, you're like, oh my God. But the baseball player in me, the athlete in me, just doesn't know how to give up.
I really, really want to love Bob Melvin as the manager of the Giants, maybe a little bit more than I have so far. That's the best way for me to say it. I was a big fan of the hire. I'm nowhere near done yet. I'm not like off the wagon, but it at times has just felt head scratching this year. And let me throw this by you. I totally understand analytics, but if you end up with Casey Schmidt as a DH in a baseball game, something went wrong with your process. That's just my opinion. I'm sorry if that's too harsh for certain people. I like, come on, man. Casey Schmidt can't be the DH. The whole point of Casey Schmidt is the glove. No?
No, yeah. I mean, I get that fully. And he still hasn't shown to this point in his career command of the strike zone, that he knows what a strike is and he knows what a ball is. Certain at-bats, he just determines he's going to be patient. And other at-bats, he predetermines that he's going to swing. So for me, the evolution of a major league hitter is like to command that strike zone, to have a game plan, to stick with that game plan. And man, who was I talking to the other day? It might have been you, Mark, but Gene Klein, because I don't have very many friends. It might have been you. Yeah. Gene Klein was my hitting coach in San Francisco. And I've told this story publicly, privately for years. And I probably had one of my best years ever as a Giant. It tailed off toward the end, but like I was raking all season long. And he would not let me get past him on the top step of the dugout to the on-deck circle without telling him what my game plan is. And we would kind of like, I mean, come on, Gino, just let me go hit. Like, I already got 2 knocks today. he'd be like, what's your game plan? And he didn't care what I said as long as I had a plan. Like I would say stuff like, I'm going to sit on the first pitch curveball here. He's just flipping it in first pitch to everybody to get like a get me over strike. Does nothing on it. I'm sitting first pitch curveball. He throws, I'm going to tattoo it. And then you go, where? Right back up the middle. Okay, good. I'm looking fastball away here, hitting left-handed. I'm going to drive one through the shortstop's chest. Okay, good. I'm going to go deep in the count here. He's pretty wild right now. He's walked a couple of guys so far, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I like it. So he didn't care. He would never say, no, this is your game plan. He just wanted you to be thinking the right way when you went to the plate. And he'd say stuff like, well, what if the runner gets to third less than 2 outs? Okay, all right, well, I'm going to be aggressive right here because he's throwing strikes, so I'm going to think up the middle the other way. Perfect. So we'd always have a game plan when I walked to the plate. And the fact that you verbalized it and it wasn't just in your head kind of stamped it, right? When you say things out loud, it kind of stamps it home more than if you just think it. Easy to change a thought if you don't say it out loud, right? But if you say it out loud, there's my game plan, and it locked me in all year long, you guys. I went up there, and I had solid at-bats, even after I had 2 hits. He wasn't letting me give anything away. You know, we're up 8-0. Gino, I got 3 hits today. I'm having a great day. Whatever. And he would say, just go with it. I don't know why my stereo just came on in the house, but
you must have said the wrong word. Hey, Alexa, pipe down.
Yeah, it's gonna start. I'll go in the bathroom and finish this. But yeah, I mean, it just locked me. It just locked me in. There's ghosts in my place. It locked me in all season long. So it really frustrates me when I see Giants hitters go up there with runners in scoring position and swing. Like you weren't sitting on that first pitch curveball that you just let, that you missed by a foot. You weren't. You just showed me by your approach. Like, what's your game plan? And I'm not criticizing Pat Burrell. I have talks with him all the time. But something as simple as verbalizing your game plan to somebody, anybody. I don't know, the guy in the first row. Watch this. I'm sitting first pitch fastball right here. I'm going to tattoo it. It just helps you go up there and have a better at bat with a better approach.
Are you really? Are you in the bathroom right now?
I'm in the bathroom. I'm in the crowd right now.
Yeah, it's echoing. It's
probably where I belong as a broadcaster, to be honest with you. This is probably where I should do every interview. This is like apropos.
There it is.
Well, it's apropos to how they played today. They played like crap, losing to the worst team, not only in baseball, but maybe the worst team in modern era of baseball.
Yeah, anything. Hey, you walk the leadoff hitter in the 9th inning, bad things are going to happen if you're playing a high school team. Just that's how that tie game. Walk the leadoff hitter. I said, as soon as that happened, because Roberts can run. I don't care if the Red Sox, the White Sox have won 10 games this year. It's still the big leagues, even though they looked really bad the last 2 days. And you're thinking the Giants are going to sweep these guys, and it just today was tough, man. I feel like every time I come on here, it's tough. Well, which maybe tells you about the season.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They're not a great baseball team. Look around in that bathroom. Do you see the White Sox? Do you see
the White Sox? I see toothpaste right now, a toothbrush, some deodorant, some cologne, some hair stuff.
If you see the White Sox, it's probably time to flush.
That's a 2.
That's a 2. It's a number 2. Is what it is, which makes it a 4.
That is literally a 2. Yeah, okay.
Grandy smiled and makes it a 3 automatically.
We should probably go. Thanks, FP.
I don't know. The song is Closing Time. It just came out of nowhere.
Nice.
Sonic.
That's that apparently is apropos as well. Thank you, my friend. See you soon.
All right, guys. I got to go figure out the ghost right now. I'll see you.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
He already is home. Thank you, FP.
All right, see you guys. Bye.
Okay, bye. That's FP Santangelo live from his bathroom.